Ag Life, presented by ADM Lloydminster.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to our agriculture show, Ag Life. I'm Gerard Lampow, and it's episode number 20, so the big 2-0. On the menu, it's nomination time for the Awards of Distinction, plus we visit with the ARDIELS in Real Farm Lives, and we talk about nutrition from the vet's perspective. But first, another visit with our community partner in agriculture. Let's welcome John O'Donnell to tell us about a new program at ADM.
Yeah, absolutely. We launched a green seed program here right in the middle of the month after a brief pilot program to kind of see if things were going to work out the way we thought in December. So this is the first real scale level trial that we're going to run, and we've opened the doors up to 15% max green seed, and we're not changing any of the other specifications other than green, but trying to open up an avenue for guys that are dealing with some green count to get it delivered and find a market for that.
Yeah, and of course all of this started from the difficulty of harvest and getting that grain in, it's so wet.
Yeah, not just the moisture, right? Moisture is a different program. The green was a different factor of development over the course of the growing season, right? So green is going to be a little bit more isolated to some specific pockets year over year, but this year we've seen a much more widespread amount of green. And we consider anything to be rejectable typically on green at 6%. So we're more than doubling what that normal spec would be to try to give an avenue for the producer to be able to market that green seed does.
Yeah, let's talk about the metrics of that and how it actually plays out in reality, a guy having green seed and bringing it to you.
Yeah, so what we do is we're going to take a sample from the probe on every inbound delivery truck. We roll that sample out and we're looking for distinctly green. Those lime greens don't count against you. It has to fall within a category distinctly green, which is by the spec of the CGC. And then we're taking that in and looking at, are you under 6? And if you're under 6, you're going to be considered as normal generic canola within our normal discount parameters. If you're over 6, but below 15, you're eligible for delivery on this green program. And that's allowing guys to market some of that off-spec grain that they might not have another home for. And then we're taking that and trying to convert it into a manageable material for our export program.
All right, so you're looking at anywhere from basically 6 to 15% range?
Correct. If you're falling in that 6 to 15, you're falling into this program. If you're below 6, we would treat you just as if it was generic canola.
Wow. That does put you guys in a certain risky kind of situation then.
Yeah, we certainly are going to bear some risk with this, right? We have an oil market that has a color spec, mostly around chlorophyll, that we have to be under in order to have our outbound shipments meet that specification for the end user. So not every plant can certainly handle green. It really depends on what your refining capabilities are. We're primarily shipping a degummed oil to the export market, and in the degumming process you wouldn't reduce any of that chlorophyll. So we're actually taking some risk on by trying some new things on further refining, mostly with bleaching, to bleach some of that green color out to still meet the spec for our customer base.
Yeah, and that's the challenge of it, really, to bleach that out and get it. Because canola, once you harvest it, it's generally what, that dark color that we saw the last time we chatted when you brought in all the samples.
Yeah, and that's normally what we work with. You have a crude that comes from the oil, and then you refine from that point. So if you don't have a ability to bleach or refine for a color spec, it makes things really difficult. And in our plant, we're not set up to run bleaching for commodity oil. We only typically bleach for our biodiesel process. So we've done some reorganization in the plant to try to be able to handle some of this material.
Yeah, reorganization in the plant. Now, big thing, we're going to change gears here. Big thing coming up on the Lloydminster Ag calendar is AgriVisions, 13th and the 14th of February, and ADM is involved in that, John.
Yeah, that's the hometown show for us, right? So here in Lloyd, we're going to be excited to have some of our merchandisers out right there in the field. We'll be manning a booth at the program, and happy to encourage everyone to come down to the booth and meet us face to face and talk about the different programs we're offering.
Yeah, including, of course, that green seed program, some of the other challenges folks had this season in terms of the wetness, the late harvest, and so on. But all the programs are on the menu.
Yeah, and any market questions we would offer at that time as well, right? We can give you a good snapshot on what we're seeing and what we think are good marketing opportunities for you.
All right, well, we certainly look forward to that. ADM is at AgriVisions this year, so go check them out. I think that's probably in the trade booth. Of course, they've got tremendous things at AgriVisions, including all of the lectures, the breakout sessions, but you guys are going to do an awesome job. We're looking forward to it there.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yes, indeed, it's going to be a tremendous time in February. Time now to roll the events calendar. If you want to get in on this part of the show, simply email me, glampow@newcap.ca. Let's have a look. A couple dates there you might have noticed. February 6th, Sask Canola is in Lloydminster. You want to check that out at the exhibition grounds. And as well, January 29th, that's coming up even sooner out in Neilburg. A lot of conversations about soil health and so on and management. Check that out too. Well, when we come back, a provincial group is welcoming nominations for its awards of distinction. Do stay with us.
This segment of Ag Life is brought to you by Webb's Machinery. Webb's Machinery, your New Holland dealer in Vermilion, Vegreville, and Lamont.
A provincial livestock partner is getting set to hand down its awards of distinction. Let's find out about the nomination process. Alberta Farm Animal Care is gearing up for its annual awards, which will be handed down during its conference in Olds on March 20th and 21st.
The theme of the conference this year is Partners in Progress, Tools for Success. So the goal behind that theme is to really highlight the practicality behind agriculture.
Several speakers are on board for the conference.
The keynote speaker for the 2019 Livestock Care Conference is Dr. Rebecca Jimenez. And not only will she be doing a one-hour presentation on her technical large animal emergency rescue workshops, but she'll also be doing a condensed version of the workshop on the March 20th, where she'll be able to have people attend and they'll be able to get a sneak peek of what the workshop entails.
A highlight of the conference is the awards of distinction, which were first handed out in 2001.
And there are 3 different award categories. So the different categories are the Award of Distinction for Communication, the Award of Distinction for Industry Leadership, and the Award of Distinction for Innovation.
Past winners included the Calgary researcher behind the only approved pain relief drug for cattle.
So Merle Olson is definitely one of our past winners, and last year our winners we had for the Award of Distinction for Communications, it was awarded to the East Olds Dairy Farmer Group. And for industry leadership, it was awarded to Lakeland College.
The nomination deadline is February 15th.
So you can either nominate them online at afac.ab.ca/awards-of-distinction, or you can send it directly to my email address, which is Kristen, Kristen, @afac.ab.ca.
The winners will be notified by March 1st to make arrangements to receive the awards at the Olds Conference on March 21st. And when we come back, it's time for Real Farm Lives with the ARDIELS. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We've certainly enjoyed over the past few weeks a number of video presentations from industry stakeholders, including things from the Beef Cattle Research Council talking about beef's environmental footprint, which is down, mind you, right? You can see all of our episodes online, but we're wrapping up the series Real Farm Lives. So it's a little tearjerker, but let's have a look at it. Our next visit, our final visit with the ARDIELS of Ontario.
Growing apples. It's an art and science. We want to produce the best possible apples that we can, and that they're award-winning apples. I'm Gail Ardiel, and this is my son Kyle. We live in Clarksburg, Ontario, and our farm is called Apple Springs Orchards. Seeing Kyle work and moving it forward and hopefully take over the orchard, this is amazing for us. It's succession planning in the future.
Our growing region is one of the most northerly climates in Canada for growing apples. However, the lake effect helps moderate the temperatures so we can grow apples in the region. There's a lot of change coming, and I'm gonna need a lot of help. Ready to roll? Yeah. We wouldn't be here without our crew and our staff. Ken, are you cool with coming with Ken and I for the morning? Today, we're gonna fix some trellis systems, do a little bit of pruning, but first we're gonna fix some of this reflective material that we have laid out in the orchard. Okay, guys, we did our first pick, and it looked like this reflective material really made some difference getting more apples off the first pick.
Yeah.
We gotta roll it back now so that we can get more color on the second pick. Sound good?
Yeah, man.
Okay. The white fabric simply just bounces the sunlight up within the tree into the apples so that there's even coloring all the way around the apples. And that way, when I'm going to pick, instead of being able to pick 60% on my first pick, I'm gonna get maybe an 80 or close to a 90 because all of the apples have been getting all the light at once. With other ones that do not have the reflective material, you can see inside still green apples, but all the outside are nice and red. So with this, I'm able to save labor by cutting the amount of times I go back over the orchard, picking and picking and picking. We have a new 5-year-old Honeycrisp block where the weight of the apples is starting to bow out. We're gonna use W clips, bring that tree back in with the trellis system so it's straight, so we protect our investment and we don't have the tree branches snap. The trellis is one of the most important parts of these high-density orchards. Without the trellis, your entire trees and crop would just fall on the ground because the weight on these trees is significant. We're looking at hundreds of pounds throughout the rows. Ken, why don't we start this up and we'll go down with these clips.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, man.
Okay. We have a platform. This allows us to move at a very slow pace, but one that can be managed for work, that we constantly know we're moving at a certain speed throughout the orchard. Before we had platforms, it was ladder work, so you're constantly moving a ladder. This platform allows us to keep the work consistent. When I'm looking throughout the trellis, I'm looking to make sure that the trees are properly structured, they're pruned correctly so that the top leader is always trying to grow to the top of the line. That way we can get maximum light penetration. That provides consistent colored apples and the same size of apple. Different plantings have different styles of pruning. The one we'll be working on is the tree every 2 feet with a row width of 10 feet. So this is our new 10x2 Honeycrisp. We want to make sure there's light in here, right? So see how we have 2 limbs coming out here? That one's going to shade the next one. So what are we going to do with this one?
Got this one.
Perfect. Gone.
Yeah, I'll take this one right here, man.
Perfect. We're clipping the tree branches at about a 1 foot length. This allows the branches to stiffen up, so when the fruit form the following year, they do not break the branch or bend it over too much. So we can have one guy on one side and one guy on the other side, and we'll just kind of move slowly down here and we'll keep going.
Don't cut your finger.
Nope, don't want to. Can you see the little bit of browning at the top here?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of mite damage that we've got. You can definitely see it's affecting the tree. I knew we'd find mite damage down there, but the trees were not producing apples this year, so I knew we didn't need to spray for anything. Next year, when there are apples, I will have to manage this pest. The apple industry is constantly evolving. In order to stay efficient and provide maximum yields for consumers, we have to go out and learn new techniques and learn new ways to grow. So the information that I learn, I have to make sure that knowledge is passed on to my team. Okay, Ken, we've just come to our new V-trellis, and it looks like we kind of got a good foot of growth this year. We don't want this waving in the wind. We want to secure these against these wires. So we got this new tape gun. It's pretty easy to use. So we just want to pull that around, put it right around that wire, and taped. Now we want to kind of get it again here, out of the way. Boom. And now, when that wind is flowing, that's not going to flap anywhere. So all the energy from the tree, it's going to just grow straight up, and hopefully we can guide that along here. And then this opens up a window for light. So when the light's coming this way, or at the end of the day through here,
Yeah.
we're getting apples on the other side and we're getting apples on this side, so we can get nice color and even distribution. Yep, don't worry about that branch, that little, yeah, that's fine. Do you see this here? That's leaf curling midge. Basically, that's a little bug that bites the leaf and it curls up and lays its eggs inside. You no longer get photosynthesis from the sun because all these leaves are damaged.
Yeah.
So then no energy will go back into the roots for next year, or no energy will go to our crop.
Have to go.
They have to go, but you know what? We'll worry about them in the springtime. Next year, we'll be more diligent against these leaf curling midges in
Yeah.
our spray application, okay?
Yeah.
So let's keep taping and go.
Kyle and I are going to go out to the orchard and pick a bushel of apples for the fall fair. Come on, boys, out, let's go. Okay. I love going into the orchard with Kyle. We get one-on-one time, you know, you always say you want one-on-one time with your children. This is it. There's a beauty. I'm trying to get the biggest ones. Help, I'm a little shorter than you. See that big red one up there? Okay, great, thank you. Let's see if I can get this one here and keep the stem on. For fall fairs, they require that the stem be on there, Kyle. They want to make sure that it wasn't a damaged apple.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Look at that, I've got a real good variety in there now.
Do you think we have enough?
Oh, yes. So many years ago, I decided that we needed to pick up garbage along Grey Road 40, and so we have a sign there, the ARDIELS pick up trash.
We adopted the road in front of the farm. This was to accept the responsibility to pick up the trash, to keep the environment clean.
Years and years ago, we had 80 bags of trash that we picked up. Now we're down to about 16 bags of trash for 3.2 kilometers. That helps our environment. This farm, it's been a life for me for the last 37 years.
Hey, Mom.
Oh, good. Thanks. When it's fall fair time, I'm getting my apples, I'm shining them, and I'm getting them all ready for the fair. That's my pride and joy, showcasing what we have here. And it's rewarding if I even get a ribbon or if I get the grand champion. It's something that I know that our farm has accomplished. We are producing more and more apples, and if Kyle wasn't here, then we wouldn't be able to do this.
It's important to try new things, to learn as much as you can so that you're staying ahead of the game and to be able to grow for future populations.
I love living in the country. It's the peace and the quiet, just wonderful living here, and we totally enjoy it.
Thanks again to Real Farm Lives for sharing their content with us. Overall, Canadian agriculture has a tremendous story to tell about the environment. All of our episodes on Ag Life with Gerard Lampow, yours truly, they are online and you can certainly revisit some of them. When we come back, nutrition from the vet's perspective. Do stay with us.
Ag Life, presented by ADM Lloydminster.
Well, proper nutrition is really a no-brainer. I get some insight from the vet's perspective.
Is just making sure that they have enough energy in the ration. Obviously, in cold temperatures, they burn a lot of calories just staying warm. And cattle are very adapted in this area to doing that, and they don't really have any trouble, especially if they have shelter from the wind.
Dr. Trent WENNEKAMP advises producers know precisely what's in the cattle's food. Producers have rations saved up by the fall, and a balanced ration is important for maintaining body weight and body condition in the winter. This is critical, especially for cows ahead of calving season.
Particularly the forages. So we're talking your silages and your hays and your green feed, or all those forage products that you're feeding, which is the largest part of any cow ration, right, is the forage. They get usually a small amount of what we call concentrates, so grains, oats, barley.
70% of cost is in animal feed, so a balanced ration avoids a lot of challenges going forward, including having to call the vet when the nutrition isn't right. Rations also need to be tested.
Like, there's different labs that do it. So labs, particularly there's labs in Winnipeg and Calgary are kind of the main ones. And so you can bring it here and we'll send it in. Agronomists will send it in. Different feed companies will send it in. So lots of people will do that service.
The lab gives a nutritional analysis and then producers can further supplement for protein, energy, minerals, vitamins and some digestive factors. The vet can also blood test the herd.
Sometimes we do some testing to see if their vitamin and mineral levels are correct, and that's particularly if there's been a problem. We'll go into a cow herd and see if there's issues that way.
Other issues include forages which lose their vitamin content over winter, so in the spring when it's needed for calving, producers need to supplement.
For example, vitamin C levels can be very low, vitamin A levels, vitamin E levels, and those things are all really crucial for producing healthy calves and keeping the cows healthy as well.
The problem shows up in calves, so producers can give vitamin E and selenium injections when calves are born. Another deficiency is copper.
It can be a hard one to supplement because other components of the diet can reduce their copper levels. So iron in the water, molybdenum in the feed can tie up copper and reduce copper levels. And copper is really important in immune function and some other factors in getting cows pregnant and things like that.
Producers also need to know about doing body condition scoring on their cattle.
In Canada, we typically go on a 5-point scale, so 3 being ideal, 4 and 5 are too fat, and 3 and 2 or 2 and 1 are too skinny. And so we just kind of recommend that guys know how to adjust rations based on making sure that body condition score is correct.
Some tremendous information there. Thank you for viewing. Enjoy it all.